Welcome back to CrossFlex TV, where we train more than just the physical. Today, we're getting ready to push, pull, and press through an energizing chest and back workout designed to strengthen your posture and your perseverance. Before we begin, a quick reminder, you'll need your resistance bands for today's workout, so be sure you have them ready. As we move through each exercise, remember this truth: when life applies pressure, we press on with purpose. Every pull strengthens your back, every press builds your chest, and every rep is a reminder that growth happens when we refuse to quit. Our verse of the day comes from Philippians 3:14. I press on toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. That verse sets the tone for today. No matter what's behind you or what resistance you're facing, God calls us forward. And as we train today, we're practicing perseverance, physically and spiritually. So grab your bands, lift your posture, and fix your focus. Let's press on together. I hope you're choosing to join us in nature to do your workout today. Get ready to push, pull, and press through this energizing chest and back routine using our resistance bands. When life applies pressure, we don't quit. We press on with purpose, like our verse of the day says. Let's begin by warming up the upper body and preparing our posture for today's work. We are going to get into our warm-up, but you won't need to use your resistance bands for the warm-up. Just keep them to the side and we'll grab them as soon as we get into segment 1. We are going to start with a W raise. So I'm going to have you lay on your belly, chest down, all the way to the mat. You're going to come this way, and I want your hands out to the side. We're just going to come up and down, warming up our back, getting things moving, waking up our muscles. Good. Now, I want you to remember you're breathing as you're doing this. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. We'll do a couple more, and then we'll get into our next exercise. Good. Deep breath in. I'm gonna have you push up using your hands gently. The next exercise that we are going to do is going to be a T push-up. Now, this is a little bit of an advanced move, so I'm gonna give you 2 modifications even for our warm-up. So, if you're doing a T push-up and you're doing it on your toes, you're gonna go up into a plank position. You're gonna push up, and then you're going to place your hand and turn. Hold here, 3, 2, 1, bring it back down, hands wide towards the outside of the mat. Push up, and I'm gonna go the opposite direction, moving my hand in and turning over. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Let's do that again. This time I'm gonna show you the modification. We're going on our knees. Make sure your glutes are in line with your hips. We're gonna push up. You're gonna move your hand in. We're gonna fold out that top leg straight, lifting your hips up. Hold, 3, 2, 1. You're gonna come back down, cross those feet, push, move the hand in, top foot goes straight out, and hold, 3, 2, 1. Do one more of those. Pick whichever way you're gonna do them. Hold, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're gonna push and hold, 3, 2, 1. Get ready to press with purpose. We are so excited to be getting into our segment today. You will need either your medium to light or your light resistance band. If you've got our Valor Fitness resistance pack, choose one of these for today's workout. And then, like I've said in the past, you guys, once you get more familiar with the workout, you can go with the heavier resistance bands. I'm gonna put this one to the side for now. We are going to start with the green resistance band, which is my medium to light resistance band, and we're gonna start with our resistance chest press. So what I want you to do is lift your foot up, put that band right under your foot, step on it, and then step the opposite foot through, okay? You're gonna bring your hands at about your shoulders, and we are going to press forward. Every press is a reminder that forward motion matters, even when it feels heavy. Just keep going. So we're pressing here. Now, if you take a look at this, I've seen people hold this in the wrong direction, so I want to show you. Keep going if you're moving with me, but watch me. So when you have these in your hands, I want you to just reverse them around. So literally rotate your hands to the outside and then press. Some people have had them like this, and then they're trying to press this way. That's working more of your shoulders. We want it to work your chest. So adjust those arms, flip them up, and then we're pressing this way, okay? Keep your hands right in front of your chest as you press. Keep going, just like this. We're gonna turn this from a chest press into a low chest fly. And what that looks like is I want you to back your foot up even a little bit more, but make sure that band is underneath your foot. I don't want it flying up and hitting you in the back or anything crazy like that. You're gonna come here and you're coming straight out, okay? And bringing those bands together, your handles together. Now, just like this. This is the beauty in having the handles because it makes it a little bit easier when we're doing work like this. You're bringing it right in line with your chest, up and down. Inhale, exhale. Hard part, we're gonna exhale, inhale when we're down. Just like that, good. Let's flip to that opposite side real quick. We'll get 10 in on that side and we will keep moving right along. Just like this, up and down. Now, if you ever need to find the workout, you guys can always visit our socials. We will have the workout posted there with quick clips of each movement. Shake your arms out, shake your shoulders out, open up your chest a little bit. The next movement that we are going to do here is going to be your single arm mowers row. Now, for this one, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna end up taking these handles off. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to the yellow one just so you can see and we save time. But you can use the same band. You don't have to switch bands. But we don't want the handles on there because it can kind of knock up against your wrist, and that kind of bothers me a little bit. So we're gonna loop this back on your foot, just like so. You're gonna step on it. Your back foot is gonna come back, and I want you on the ball of your foot. So toes pressed down, just like this, ball of your back foot, but most of your weight should be on the foot holding the band down. You're gonna do what's called a mower's row. So you're gonna pull up just like this and out to the side. Your elbows pointed outward, not back, outward, just like this. We're gonna go up and down, and you're going 10 on each side, 3 at a time, 3 at a time, 10 at a time, 3 rounds. Keep moving. Good. Make sure that your posture is nice and strong. A strong posture reflects a focused spirit. Keep your eyes forward and your heart steady. Keep moving, just like this. Good. I'm gonna switch. We can get some work in on the opposite side. Here, remember, ball of your back foot, all of your weight's on your front foot. You can rest your hand here if it feels comfortable, and then you're gonna pull up. Now, if this is too challenging, remember, you can always switch to a lighter band, okay? If it's not challenging enough, you can choke up or switch to a heavier band so that you feel more work. Good. Inhale. Exhale. I always want you to remember to keep breathing, and your exhale should be on the hard part or when you're doing the work, okay? As we pull up, we're exhaling and inhaling on the way down. Welcome to Fitness Circuit 2. We are going to pull with perseverance in these next couple of exercises. So what I want to start with is a single arm rear delt fly. And I'll explain what that means, or reverse pec fly. It's called 2 different things. But what you're gonna do is, before we were bent over like this, kind of doing our mowers row, I want you to stand nice and tall this time. And I want you to pull out just like this. Arms slightly bent, so I'm gonna pause here so you can see. Your arm's gonna be slightly bent and you're pulling towards your back. So not straight out, but backwards just slightly. We're gonna pull up just like this. You can hinge at the hips a little bit if this feels a little more comfortable, but your arm is a bit more straight than with that mower's row when we were bent at 90. You're wanting to use your lighter bands for these, especially in the beginning, and then once you guys get a little more advanced and you're like, Takara, your workout's too easy, then take it up a notch and do the opposite, okay? So again, with that rear delt fly or single arm reverse pec fly, we're coming here, and as you do, pinch behind and pull back, okay? All right, moving on. Our second exercise, we are gonna do band pull aparts. These are a lot of fun. I like to do them with my clients to warm them up. They're great. You're gonna come here and you're just gonna pull that band open, squeezing your shoulder blades. So I'm gonna show you from the side because I want your chest to be nice and lifted. You're gonna pull apart just like that, squeeze in between your shoulder blades and come back. Band pull aparts, make sure your chest is lifted. You don't wanna be here doing it. You wanna sit nice and tall and pull apart just like this, okay? All of these, you have 3 sets of 10. Good. All right, relax your arms really quickly because we're gonna do something very similar, but this time you're gonna feel the burn. So I want you to take your hands, we were nice and wide before. This time, you're gonna move your hands into the side, nice and narrow, and we're gonna pulse. Now, when you pulse, it's really important that you keep your arms nice and straight. So roll your shoulders back here, set, and then pulse, okay? If this is too easy and you don't feel anything, move those hands in even more or go to a heavier resistance band and just pulse. If you look at me from the side, my arms are nice and straight. I'm not bent at my elbows. I'm straight here and I'm pulsing, okay? Keep pulsing, we're gonna be here. I want 20 pulses. We're gonna go 3 rounds of 20 and you will feel the burn, especially if you're doing them right, I promise you. 3, 2, 1. Give yourself a round of applause. For our next segment, I chose to go a little heavier with my band. You may wanna do the same. Some of these exercises are a little bit easier because you're using larger muscle groups. Doesn't mean they're not challenging, but they're just a little easier. So I went with my medium to heavy band. We're with the red band now. And what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for you to take your bands and I'd like for you to step inside of them, okay? You want a pretty good size stance. So you want your feet under your hips, so shoulder length apart with your feet. And then I want you to cross your bands just like this, okay? So you're gonna cross your bands, and first we're gonna start with a row. Hands should be right beside your hips before you come to standing and before you press out, okay? So you're doing it this way. We're gonna come here, squeeze in between your shoulder blades before you go into that press, okay? Here, put them together, stand up and press. Down, pull, together, up, press, just like that, okay? We are gonna now move into the mat. I wanna make sure that you guys get in 3 sets of 10 with this, and then we're gonna move on to the mat, and we are gonna do some more rowing and some more for your back and your chest. I'm gonna sit to the side so that you can see me. When you come down to your mat, I'd like for you to make sure that your resistance band is lower on your feet. Now, here's a trick. So that this resistance band doesn't fly up and hit you in the face, point your feet just a little bit. You point your feet, then you'll make sure that that doesn't slide up at you as you pull back, okay? The first exercise that we're gonna do here, and again, if this is too light for you, you guys, you can always choke up or take these bands off and come here, okay? I want you to do a seated row. So you're gonna sit nice and tall and you're just gonna row. Elbows are going toward your hips. Now, you'll see, for me, my band is a little light, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna choke up on it and I'm gonna pull just like this, keeping my feet slightly pointed to make sure that that band doesn't come back and hit me in the face. So we're gonna go row just like this. Now, this is the first step in this exercise, but you're gonna row just like this. When you row, make sure you aren't shrugging your arms up. You don't wanna put that tension in your shoulders. You want it to be in your back. So you're gonna row this way, and then you're gonna come out, and you're gonna pull to reverse fly, okay? Here, and then pull. Again, if you guys need to, you can take those handles off, or you can use your handles. Now, if you have something out in nature, like a pole, for instance, there's one back there, but I won't use it right now. But if you have something and you think this is too easy, you can always loop it around a pole and back yourself up a little bit and then do this as well, so that you're using your handles and you don't have to use the rope, okay? Just like this. Sit nice and tall. Make sure you're squeezing in between your shoulder blades when you go back. Both motions should be in between your shoulder blades. Drive towards your hips and then open your chest up just like that, okay? Next exercise we're gonna do, I want you to hold your handles for this one. Point those feet towards the ground. We are gonna go overhead and we are going to do a pulse with that overhead motion. So you're gonna be here and then we're just gonna pulse backwards, just like this. You should feel your back, you should feel your arms, you should feel your shoulders. Everything should be burning. Good. You guys have done a great job resisting today. I know that your chest and your back are probably tired, so let's cool down. The first thing that I want you to do is place your hands behind your back. I'm sitting crisscross applesauce, but you guys can sit however you feel comfortable. Just sit down with me. Let's go ahead and place our hands with our fingers facing our back and just open up your chest. Point your gaze towards the sky, pushing your chest outward, just like this. Good, we're gonna do it one more time. Deep breath in, flip your hands the opposite direction and push forward, opening up your chest, gaze towards the sky. Nice work. Bring your hands to the front. Now, I'm gonna turn just a little bit so you can see me, but what I'd like for you to do is take your hands just like this, and if you can, place them on the mat and round out through your back. So you're gonna actually push your back upward so that you feel a stretch in your back. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the strength you placed within our bodies and the breath that carried us through this workout. Lord, just as we strengthened our chest and back today, help us strengthen our posture in life, standing upright in faith, grounded in truth, and aligned with your will. When pressure comes, teach us not to quit, but to press on with perseverance, trusting that you are shaping us for something greater. We declare Philippians 3:14 over our lives. May our strength glorify you, our discipline reflect our devotion, and our endurance point others back to you. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for this workout, and thank you for today. Welcome back to the studio for today's nutrition portion of the show. Today we have Christian fitness and wellness coach Leanne Ash with us. Thank you for joining us again, Leanne.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited that you're back. All right, today's topic, macros and God's design. Tell us what macros are.
So macros, or macronutrients is the full name. There are 3 essential macros that God has given us to fuel our body: proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. And they each have a different purpose for our bodies. And so proteins are gonna help you repair and rebuild muscle. Then we have our carbohydrates, which is our body's preferred source of energy. And fats are gonna help with your hormone health, with brain fuel, and helping you absorb vitamins. So they all play a part and they're all super important. Macronutrients are the way that our body uses the food that we eat. And by having the proper amount of each macronutrient, that is how our bodies are gonna thrive.
Why are macros so important on your fitness journey? You hear that people, they start to lose weight or they have the goal of building muscle, and it's all centered around your macros.
It really is. And for so many people, they're very focused on calories. And calories, yes, your body needs a certain number of calories to just base, the amount that you need to just live and breathe and walk. But you also need a certain amount of calories, again, to thrive, to grow and build muscle. But calories are just a bare minimum type of thing as far as what to focus on. Macros do equate to calories. Macros contain, again, the proteins, carbs, and fats. Proteins and carbohydrates each gram contains 4 calories. Mm-hmm. Each gram of fat contains 9 calories, so they do add up to calories. Mm-hmm. But I like to have my clients focus on macros because when you're reaching a macro goal for your proteins, carbs, and fat based on your own personal goals and your own body's needs, you are also reaching a calorie goal. But the inverse is not necessarily true. So you can be reaching a certain calorie goal that you think you should be reaching, and you may or may not be reaching a macronutrient goal, and so you could be really deficient in one of the macros that your body needs.
My clients don't love logging their food. Is there a way to ensure you're getting the right amount of macros without the logging aspect of it?
Yes and no. So you will be more precise if you are tracking. However, it all goes back to your goal again. And if you've never tracked or even paid attention to how many proteins, carbs, and fats that you're having, even starting with this very simple plan will help you. And think of a plate. Okay, so again, you've got your proteins, carbs, and fats, the three main macronutrients. I also like to talk about fiber, which is a type of carbohydrate, because you need to make sure that the carbs that you're consuming, a lot of them have fiber in them. About half that plate should be vegetables. Okay, that's going to give you a lot of the fiber that your body needs. And then if you use your hand, everyone's hand is proportionate to what their body needs, which is pretty cool. So you would need about the size of the palm of your hand for protein. Okay, and this is animal protein I'm talking about. And then about the cup size for carbohydrates, and then about the size of your thumb for fat. Now that is for females. For men, it'd be about 1.5 to 2 times that to be proportionate to their size and their body's needs. But that is an easy, basic way to just get started. And I have many clients that don't track their food and have started with that method and have seen great results.
Yeah, you hit on something really important. You talk about fiber. We talk about fiber too. Tell me how important fiber really is, because you said those carbohydrates, they really need to contain fiber. Why? Why is that so important?
Fiber is important for your digestion, for proper, for lack of better way of saying, bowel movements, and it's overall important for just your overall health and function. It's going to help you feel more satiated at each meal versus if the carbohydrates that you're consuming don't have much fiber, which there is a place for those, but you need to make sure you're also having carbohydrates that contain a lot of fiber, like berries and vegetables. And then there's also edamame and avocado.
So here's what I want to do. I want to backtrack just a little bit because we have some viewers out there that maybe don't know what a carbohydrate is, what a fat is, and what a protein is.
Right.
So can you give us a little bit of examples from each food group?
So proteins, animal proteins would be eggs. We've got chicken, beef, turkey, pork, fish. These are all great sources of lean animal proteins. And then we've got carbohydrates. So most people think of carbohydrates as chips and pretzels and candy, which yes, those are carbohydrates, but we're talking about whole food nutrition right here. So carbohydrates would be anything from fruits, vegetables, quinoa, rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, oats. Those are all great sources of whole food carbohydrates. And then our healthy fats would be anything from olive oil, avocado, nuts, nut butter. Those are all great sources of healthy fats. So as you are putting macronutrients into each meal and thinking about those, again, the number one goal would be to as many whole foods as possible.
Sure, and I know a lot of our viewers probably don't really understand what whole foods are either. So I kind of break it down and say, just to simplify it, I break it down and say one ingredient foods.
Yes, absolutely. If there's nothing on the back, there's no label telling you what's in it, you know it's a whole food. An apple is an apple. Chicken is chicken. It's an easy way of saying it.
Now, let's get back to the carbs because I think the carbs get a bad rep.
They do.
They really do. So let's talk about carbs and not necessarily in a negative way,
Right. And they are, again, one of the macros that God has perfectly designed for our body to use and to need for its own perfect design, and it's our body's preferred source of energy. So again, it does get a bad rap because for whatever reason we think carbs are all negative things like chips and pretzels and candy and sugar and ice cream, which again, they're delicious, but they don't serve a purpose to properly fuel your body in the best way possible. And then making sure that carbohydrates always go with a protein is going to be helpful. I don't know if you've ever heard the term, don't eat naked carbs. So, don't just have a potato by itself. Make sure that there's protein and fiber with that. And that's going to really help you be able to enjoy carbohydrates as God designed us to.
You mentioned some micronutrients in there, so I want to touch on that. What's the difference between a macronutrient and a micronutrient?
So the macros, again, are the three big ones. So we've got proteins, carbs, and fats. Now, so then we've got our vitamins and our minerals, and all those things are going to come from having a colorful diet. People can get really hung up on am I getting enough of each micronutrient and all the vitamins and minerals? But if you are eating a rainbow, if you're making sure that your diet is very colorful and you're bringing in different fruits and vegetables of all different colors and you're using a variety of different meats and carbohydrate sources, you're going to be getting a lot of those vitamins and minerals and the micronutrients that your body needs without having to really obsess about it.
Leave us with one actionable item that our viewers can do in order to make sure that they're getting in the correct macronutrients and micronutrients.
Yeah. As you're planning each meal, checklist. What is my protein? What is my fiber? What is my fat and what is my carb? Okay, and so examples, again, using those if you need a little cheat sheet of, okay, here's a list of proteins to choose from. Here's a list of fibrous foods. Here's a list of fat foods that contain healthy fat and a list of healthy carbs. So you get to pick one from each area and build your plate based off of the half of your plate being vegetables, protein being about the size of the palm of your hand, fat being about the size of your thumb, and then the carbs about the size of the cup of your hand. If you can try to do that every single meal and use a variety, then you're going to get a lot of what you need on a daily basis.
Your macros are absolutely God's design, and that's the way that He's designed our bodies to work. When you eat that way, you just feel good.
So much better. Food is not good or bad or evil. It is fuel for our bodies. And when we use it in the right way to take care of our bodies, and God talks about, our bodies being the temple, then we can honor Him with our bodies too, and then we can be the best version of ourselves.
Everything that you're saying, I keep hearing eating to thrive, eating to thrive.
Yes.
So if you want to eat to thrive, then just follow God's way, keep it simple, and stay with those whole foods.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'm sure our viewers are going to want to get in touch with you.
So yes, you can get in touch with me on Instagram. It's just Leanne Marie Ash. I'm always posting videos and tips and just lifestyle related things, and I hope to hear from you.
Leanne, thank you so much for joining us. If your chest and back are feeling the work right now, let it remind you that every effort with purpose produces progress. Strength isn't built in one moment. It's built through faithful repetition. Here at CrossFlex TV, we believe honoring God includes how we move and how we fuel our bodies. Because when we nourish our bodies well, we recover stronger, train smarter, and remain ready for what God is calling us to do next. And if you didn't have your resistance band for today's workout, that's okay. These workouts are available on demand on the CTN app, so you can come back and train anytime. And as you head into your week, remember this: you are called upward, you are moving forward. And no resistance, physical or spiritual, can stop a heart fixed on God. Press on, stay faithful, and keep your eyes on the prize.